All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from Watkins, Glen, Wessel Stevens, Max Gunther on the front row, Yannick Gunther, Adam Barker on the second. Mike Marshall and Nick Sorensen have the third row, Roman Berg and Ellis Johnson on the fourth, Rudolph Gunther and Andrew Lout rounding out the top 10. Stuart Hare and Brandon Banks, both rookies this week, 11th and 12th. Jason Leonard and Jason Starr rounding out the 14-car field here at the Glen. Everybody getting lined up on the grid, ready to go. Track temperatures actually come up 1 degree from qualifying. Air temperature still holding at 80, track temperature at 101. However, as the day goes on, it is getting later. This is likely the hottest part of the day. The track being hot and getting a little greasy this morning. Well, it turns out the bus stop may be the worst part of it. Although a lot of drivers, especially the Porsche drivers, saying the entire second half of the track just as difficult. Wessel Stevens, Max Gunther leading him around. Down into the boot. Everybody trying to get some heat in those tires here early. Now, a lot of the drivers did drive the officials this week. The track temperature and air temperature here are actually substantially higher than what the drivers saw in the officials this week. So all that extra practice and all those extra laps may have been useless. Just under 3.5 miles around this track. Only 11 turns, but each of them could spell disaster with a hot track temp. Here they come toward the final turn. The pace car will dive to pit road. There he goes. Pace car is in. Wessel can fire. He has there. Down and away. And the green flag flies here at Watkins Glen. And Wessel, big shoot down into turn one, is taking the lead quickly. No problems back behind, but up through the S's they come. Rookie drivers in the field, just joining the group. Will they play a part in this? Wessel, remember, is the points leader. So if he can get away early, that is going to be huge going into Mugello next week. Wessel continue to lead. Yannick and Max second and third. Ellis Johnson in the Lambo is already up 3 spots into the top 5. Remember, Ellis was the fastest car all week last week at Bathurst, and we've got a battle behind. Mike Marshall back in the Corvette this morning. And out of the final turn, Wessel will lead lap 1. Now everybody's setting up to make a move into turn 1. Can't quite get there. Roman Berg was looking to the inside. Drivers very concerned with off-tracks. Track limits appear to have tightened up a bit. So every one of these drivers is putting in a little extra caution this morning. Several of the holy cow, one rookie is wide. That is Brandon Banks. He recovers but drops to the tail end. And the leader pulling away while second through about 6 still nose to tail with Yannick and Max Gunther second and third at the moment. Adam Barker in fourth, Ellis Johnson in fifth. And Nick Sorensen, who was one of the fastest in practice, sitting in sixth. Mike Marshall back in the Corvette this morning. He's been running the Aston all season. Back in the Corvette here at Watkins Glen, running in seventh, keeping everybody within striking distance. Wessel does have the fastest lap at the moment. Seeing a lot of caution coming through turn 1. And looking like, at least at the moment, Wessel about to pull a repeat of last week. He is checking out. Andrew Lau was fast in practice, but a little off pace in qualifying. Now up to 9th, but man, he has got a lot of ground to make up. Yannick Gunther and Max Gunther starting to pull away just a little bit from Adam Barker. They have a 1.2 second gap on the Aston at the moment. Ellis Johnson, Nick Sorensen still within striking distance. Like through turn one, the Gunther brothers might have been battling a little bit. Hey, good morning, JR. How are you, buddy? Ellis, coming off that dominant win last week, has already made his way to 5th. Still has Sorensen on the bumper, but he is starting to lose a little bit of ground to Barker. Sorensen may have an opening. Couldn't capitalize on that. I'm sorry, JR. Meanwhile, Wessel Stevens out front has opened up a 3 1/4 second lead. Wessel does have the fastest lap of the morning so far by quite a significant margin, over a half a second a lap, and he just set a 1:44.06. However, 4 laps in, that could be the last fast lap we see. As we mentioned, with the hot track temperature, the drivers saying their tires were melting very quickly this morning. Now don't forget, a doubleheader this morning, and the top 7 will invert going into race 2. So whoever wins race 1 starts in 7th. And right now, Mike Marshall would be the pole sitter going into race 2. As Sorensen's trying to make the attack again. Ellis holds him off yet again, but man, Nick was super fast during practice. Don't be surprised if he gets it done in the next couple laps. However, Ellis has caught back up to Adam Barker. Well, that was the first lap Wessel completed that he didn't set the new fastest lap. He's still the fastest car on track as Max Gunther has started to put a gap on Yannick. And Sorensen has finally gotten past Ellis. Mike Marshall, Roman Berg, Andrew Lau not far behind. Wessel just continuing to drive away from the Gunthers. His lead now almost 4 seconds. Barker's back bumper. Adam started in fourth and has held on to it, but man, he just doesn't seem to have the speed here this morning. Several of the drivers said this was definitely an Aston Martin track. But it does appear the Aston just not up to full speed this morning. Whoa! Nick almost kissed the wall coming out of the final turn. He holds on to it and he may have a run down into turn one. Whoa, Adam slams the door. And cloud cover over the track, likely to cool it down. Nick lost a little ground to Adam for the moment. Mike Marshall starting to close back up on Ellis, and he's bringing Roman Berg with him. As Ellis is going to take the spot back. Whoa, a little wide. Sends the Lambo deep into the boot. And Ellis reclaims fifth. Meanwhile, Mike Marshall and Roman Berg playing peekaboo through the boot. And Roman now to seventh, Mike back to eighth. Andrew Lau right there on Mike Marshall's bumper, as from fifth on back is really starting to tighten up. The top four getting away as fifth on back continues to battle. The cloud cover has dropped the track temperature down to 97. Air temperature now 79 degrees. And you know the drivers are loving that. Rudolph Gunther has dropped back into 10th. Stuart Hare back in 11th. Jason Leonard in 12th. Brandon Banks in 13th. Jason Starr in 14th. We were actually expecting another new driver this morning, but he did not make it in time. As we mentioned, coming into this morning, Wessel Stevens has the points lead still, despite missing Mount Panorama last week. But because he missed without drop races calculated, Adam Barker has closed that gap back up. Rudolph Gunther in third, Yannick Gunther in fourth. Roman Berg moves up to fifth in points. And Ellis Johnson now up into sixth after last week's performance. And speaking of Ellis, he's now up into fourth. And I believe Adam Barker may have lost connection. See how things play out. Try and get a word with Adam between races. But this is shaking things up even further. Now Ellis up to fourth. Sorensen in fifth. Roman Berg in sixth. Mike Marshall back in seventh. Mike is on the attack. He had a little help from Lau coming down, but can't hold on to it into the bus stop. Oh, Mike goes a bit wide. Man, the top 7 invert this morning gonna be wild. Meanwhile, Wessel Stevens out front has opened up a 6.7 second lead over Max Gunther in second. Yannick in third, still hanging with his brother. Ellis Stills on to 4, Sorensen in 5th, Roman in 6th, Mike Marshall in 7th. Stuart Hare had a bit of an off track a moment ago, as did Jason Starr, but both drivers still pointed the right way. Adam Barker is back on pit road. He's on his way back out. It appeared it was connection difficulties, but now he's back in 14th. With less than 4 minutes, unlikely Adam's going to make up any ground here. Race 2, he is going to have to send it. But with Wessel Stevens out front and Adam Barker at the back, man, Adam's hope for a 10th championship may have just gone out the window. Adam Barker is the 9-time champ. Wessel Stevens headed toward his first. Adam may not be the winningest driver in the field, but generally, he is the most consistent. Yannick Gunther still within striking distance of Max. Ellis now 5 seconds behind that battle. Still has Sorensen, Berg, Mike Marshall, Andrew Lau all right there. Rudolph Gunther not far behind. He has pulled a gap on Jason Leonard and Stuart Hare. Really surprised that McLaren is not further up the field. Jason Starr has come to pit road. Wessel comes out of the boot, headed toward the start-finish line. Should see the white flag this time. Wow, cutting it really close to the barrier there, and Barney waves the white flag one more time around. Wessel has opened up an 8-second lead as Yannick and Max swap places again. Yannick now to second, Max in third, Ellis in fourth. Roman Berg now up into fifth, Mike Marshall in sixth, Andrew Lau in seventh. Nick Sorensen has slipped way back. See if we can see what happened to Sorensen that cost him a lot of ground. Looked like there wasn't any contact. Sorensen just a little squirrely coming out of the bus stop. Coming down into the boot. Looks like they just picked him off one at a time. And here we go. Wessel Stevens gets it done again. He will win race 1 at Watkins Glen and extend his championship. Yannick Gunther coming home in second, Max in third. And let's get a word with our top 3. As of right now, looks like Andrew Lau will have the pole for race 2. Talk to the top 3, starting with Max Gunther. Max, congratulations. You got a top 3, but I gotta ask, could you have beat your brother there? You guys kind of swapping places a couple times.
Yeah, we swapped places strategically, and we swapped back on the last lap. And then I said to him, "Game on the entry to the boot." And yeah, that didn't work.
Well,
but I think I could have theoretically somehow have maybe beaten him. But yeah,
there is the thing called the chrome horn. That's what they call it in NASCAR. That would have worked.
Okay, yeah.
Just a little love tap, brotherly love there, but still, you two working together, the strategy was perfect, man. You guys checked out from the rest of the field, and heck of a run.
Yeah, it was great. It was a good race.
Oh, great job. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Dick.
Now, Yannick Gunther coming home in second. Yannick, Max told us you guys were running a strategy move. It really paid off there. But on that last lap when he said game on, were you worried at all?
I was, yes. He was 0.2 behind me when he said game on, and I didn't expect it. But it was a fun last couple corners, so yeah. Unfortunately, our strategy didn't work, and we couldn't run down Wessel, but it is what it is.
Well, you guys managed to charge away from the rest of the field and had one heck of a performance. A great run overall this morning.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you. It was fun.
And finally, our winner once again, Wessel Stevens. Wessel, it looked like you were out for a Sunday drive, buddy. You really dominated that one, and to make things even better for you, Adam had a problem. He finished last, so you have extended your points lead even further.
Yeah, like Adam's disconnect, of course, works in my favor, but it's not how we want to win, of course. And actually, I think Adam and me are now equal on points if we do the off weeks. So yeah, it's nice to be equal on points, and yeah, 3 races left. So let's see if I can stay in front of Adam.
Man, you've had a heck of a season so far, and another win this morning. Can you get from 7th back to the front and walk away?
Surviving is the main goal, and stay in front of Adam, of course. So let's see where we will end up, but that will be the goal.
Well, good luck and a heck of a win, buddy.
Yeah, see you, man. Thank you.
Well, Wessel Stevens just going to try and keep the car in one piece. It's definitely going to be a wild race, too. If anybody has any predictions for race 2, drop them in the comments. The real question is going to be, can Wessel come from 7th to the lead? Nobody came out for warm-up. Nobody came out to practice pit road entry. I think this might be the first time this season we have seen nobody practice. The track temp has come down even further, meaning race 2 gonna be even faster. Warm-up is over. Let's go racing from the Glen. All right, here we go for race 2 with the top 7 inverted. Andrew Lau, Nick Sorensen now in the front row. Roman Berg and Ellis Johnson on the second. Max Gunther and Yannick Gunther have the third row. Wessel Stevens starts in 7th after winning race 1. Rudolph Gunther in 8th. Mike Marshall, Jason Leonard round out the top 10. Stuart Ayers starting in 11th. Brandon Banks in 12th. Adam Barker way back in 13th. Jason Starr in 14th. Next week we will have the season finale from Mugello. I love that track so much. Always get excited when we go there for Sunday morning, but to have it be the season finale is going to be awesome. That cloud cover cooling the track off even more. They practiced at 106-degree track temp. It is now down to 90 degrees. A lot cooler, a lot more grip. Everybody coming through the bus stop behind the pace car. Jason Starr has not taken the grid. Adam Barker has a lot of work to do in the Aston this morning. Nick Sorensen was very fast in race 1, as was Andrew Lau. Will either of them be able to run away? Nick already has 3 wins this season. As does Andrew Lau. Will one of them come home with their 4th win of the season? All right, here they come toward the final turn. The pace car dives to pit road. And here they come. They're fired. They're down and away. The green flag flies for race 2 at the Glen. Ellis already attacked, but he goes really wide through turn 1. Up through the S's, a lot of side-by-side. Well, we've got a Gunther sideways. Wow, that was a close call. Roman Berg around as well. And Nick Sorensen is showing a black flag. Well, definitely a wilder start to race 2. We'll take a look at these early incidents here in just a moment. Will Sorensen come to pit road, and Ellis is right there in 3rd. Wessel already up to 5th as Yannick Gunther has damage. How many drivers are we going to see on pit road on lap 1? Adam Barker is on the march. He is already up to 8th. And any cars that come into pit road now are going to be a huge help to Barker, as it does look like Sorensen is coming in. Yannick Gunther, even with the damage, stays out. Wessel on his bumper. Max right behind. Whoa! Yannick looked like he had his hands full coming out of turn 1. Roman Berg has taken it to pit road. Let's take a look at those lap 1 incidents. There's Rudolph Gunther coming up the S's. Just loses the back end. Wow, close call for several drivers. Then just a few seconds later, looks like Roman got together with Yannick, and Roman ends up plowing it into the wall. And Roman coming through the bus stop loses. Holy cow. What a hit for Roman. And Roman lost that rear wing in that incident right off the bat. Man trying to go through the bus stop without any downforce. That was the end result. Andrew Lau has the lead over Ellis Johnson, now to second. Wessel now up into third. The other championship contender, Adam Barker, already up to seventh, looking for sixth. After that disconnected race one, Adam Barker is on the move. Ouch indeed. That was a big, big hit. Points leader Wessel Stevens currently in third. Ellis in the Lambo last week was just super fast around Mount Panorama, but winning the second race. But he is showing again here this week that Lambo can be fast. Max Gunther now in fourth. Mike Marshall already up to fifth. But he has Barker on his bumper. Adam is definitely making that car faster this time. Race one looked like he was struggling. Race two, he's already picked up 7 spots. Yannick Gunther has brought it in for repairs. Man, Lau is sending it through the bus stop. He has a 1.4 second lead over Ellis. And Max Gunther just set the fastest lap of race two. But Wessel continues to attack. And it looks as if Rudolph Gunther had a problem. Roman Berg had come out of pit road, has already gone back. All right, there's Roman pulling out. Could very well be another problem. Yep, he barely got it out of pit road. Andrew Lau's lead now 1.6 seconds over Ellis, but Wessel continues to close in. He has pulled a gap now on Max Gunther. Mike Marshall still holding on to fifth as he holds off Adam Barker. Jason Leonard now 3 spots into seventh. Stuart Hare also on the move up 3 spots into 8th. Rudolph Gunther after that early incident back to 9th. And newcomer Brandon Banks up to 10th. Nick Sorensen after that penalty has slipped back to 11th. And Yannick Gunther came to pit road for repairs. Now back in 12th. Roman Berg is still sitting on pit road. And Wessel has caught Ellis. That will also allow Max Gunther to close in a little bit more. Whoa! Every one of these guys is scraping that wall coming out of the final turn. And we've got a battle for second. Wessel tried to look to the inside through turn one, couldn't get there yet. And Max Gunther has gone up into this battle. The more they battle, the more Andrew Lau is going to pull away. Mike Marshall and Adam Barker are starting to close in on the battle ahead as well. Rudolph Gunther battling with the rookie Stuart Hare. Oh, Rudolph barely clears. Hare peeked back to the inside but didn't have enough. And now we've got the battle for second on. Ellis sends it deeper. Wessel, though, inches ahead on exit. Now Max is in the fight. Meanwhile, Mike Marshall and Adam Barker were several seconds back there, closing quickly. Mike has been turning his fastest laps of the morning. He has definitely found some more speed out of that Corvette. Wessel Stevens now in second is 2 1/4 seconds out of the lead. And Mike Marshall has just lost position. Adam now to fifth. Jason Leonard back in seventh, about 3 1/4 seconds behind Mike. He is closing. And speaking of Mike, we are missing Mike Dolling, the Minister of Defense, this morning. Brandon Banks has had a problem back behind. There's the rookie as he comes out of the bus stop. Just a little too deep and ouch. Does appear though minimal damage to the Porsche. Wessel Stevens just set the fastest lap of race 2, 1:44 dead. And less than a second behind Lau. Wessel's rear view, Lau's rear view is just seeing that Mustang get closer and closer. Rudolph Gunther back on the attack, now back up into seventh after his early trouble. Nick Sorensen has slipped all the way back to ninth. Nick was super fast in race 1, but appears to be struggling here in race 2. And Wessel has caught the leader. Will he have the run down into turn 1? How defensive will Andrew be? It's early in the race. We have seen Wessel do this before, sit in the slipstream, not push the issue. But after seeing race 1 and him checking out, I find it unlikely he's gonna sit still. No, he's not. He peaked coming into the bus stop, but didn't make the move. Ellis and Max continue to battle back behind for 3rd and 4th. Wessel keeps peeking in. Could be trying to force Lau to make a mistake and make it easy for him. Also worth noting, even Andrew Lau does not know what that paint scheme is. But we know it says PAL on the side. Wessel Stevens has swept at 2 tracks so far this season, winning both races at Mexico City and both races at Suzuka. Could it be 3 today? Andrew definitely making him work for it. Andrew not aggressively blocking, but making sure Wessel doesn't have it easy. Wow, that was a close one. And Stuart Hare, the rookie, has had a problem back behind. We'll take a look here in just a moment as Wessel has taken the lead. Now can Andrew Lau stay with him? Alright, there's Stewart in the blue Porsche. Through the bus stop, just can't get it turned. And man, that was a hard hit into the outside wall. We went all the way through race 1 without anybody hitting the walls in the bus stop, but it is inevitable. It always happens. Meanwhile, Max Gunther, Ellis Johnson battle for 3rd. Ellis holds on to it. Ellis, whoa! Ellis almost overshot exit. Stuart Hare has brought it in for repairs. And Wessel Stevens has already started to drive away. Wessel's already opened up a 1.5 second lead over Andrew Lau. And with them not battling, Ellis and Max have slipped back almost 3.5 seconds. Adam Barker, after connection problems in race 1, he finished race 1 in 13th. He is on the march here. Started race 2 in 13th, all the way to 5th. He is about 4.25 seconds behind Max Gunther, but more importantly, he is gaining ground. Mike Marshall currently in 6th. He has been having a great run here this morning. Rudolph Gunther currently in 7th. Sorensen has came forward a little bit more. He is now up to 8th. Yannick in 9th. And Brandon Banks, the rookie, holds on to 10th. Wessel, as we saw a couple weeks ago, just checks out from the field. He has been the driver to beat most of the season. Nine-time champ Adam Barker sits second in points coming into this morning. That first race is going to be a big hit. But as they run now, Wessel would extend that points lead going into the final race at Mugello next week. Ellis and Max still battling back behind for 3rd and 4th. Adam Barker in 5th, still about 4.25 seconds back. Wessel's lead already growing rapidly, 3.3 seconds over Andrew Lau. Ellis Johnson in 3rd, also about 3.3 seconds behind Lau at the moment. Max Gunther still right there on his bumper. Adam about 4.5 seconds behind Max at the moment. I have to wonder if the Aston just does not have that top end speed. Adam has been fast when he's in the slipstream this morning, but when he's been out there solo, his lap time seems slower. Whoa! Whoa, big entry into the bus stop, gets right to the rookie's bumper. Yannick Gunther is in for his pit stop. Now the question is, tires or no tires? It's his pit stall. The car has not gone up yet. And it looks like it's going to be no tires. The track temperature has cooled all morning long. Likely the drivers have figured out best to conserve. Rather than take the extra time to make a 4-tire or even a 2-tire change. Ellis Johnson, Max Gunther continue to battle. Adam Barker still holding on to 5th. Mike Marshall in 6th. Brandon Banks on his way in. Will the rookie take tires? Yes, he is. He had just gone a lap down, so might as well take the extra time, get the fresh tires, see if you can do anything with anybody. Stuart Hare was in just a few laps ago. He may have gotten enough fuel to go the distance when he got repairs. The handful of drivers have completed pit stops. The rest of them still going as we pass the halfway point. Folks, don't forget tonight at 9:30 Eastern, the SMR 87s take to the track. If you missed last week's season opener, find it on our YouTube channel. Man, that was one heck of an exciting and wild race. Wessel's lead now right about 4 seconds over Andrew Lau. Ellis Johnson in 3rd still has Max Gunther on the bumper. Adam Barker still in 5th. Mike Marshall in 6th. Rudolph Gunther back in 7th. But Rudolph now has Nick Sorensen on his bumper. Sorensen lost a lot of ground in the early going, but he has started to make it up. Oh, Sorensen gets the run through the boot. Drag race to the next turn. Sorensen has the advantage on the inside. Outbreaks him and takes the spot. Wessel Stevens gives up the lead. He is in. Max Gunther also in. Andrew Lau stays out, reassumes the lead. Ellis now to 2nd. Adam Barker currently in 3rd. And it looks like fuel only stops for the leaders. Rudolph Gunther on his way in now. Rudolph a little bit further back. Likely, yep, it's going to be fuel only for Rudolph. Oh! Ellis a little squirrely into the boot. Couple of drivers, including Nick Sorensen, have picked up slowdowns over the last couple of laps. Nick gets it burned off quickly, but starting to see cars slipping and sliding around more. And the leader, Andrew Lau, is in. Ellis Johnson gives up second. Adam Barker in third. And it looks like Mike Marshall will come in and will complete the cycle of stops. I stand corrected. Nick Sorensen has not been in. He had to come in on lap 1. He had picked up a penalty on the first lap, but he has not been in to make a fuel stop. Wessel Stevens comes off pit road first. Currently scored in second place, but he will reclaim the lead once Nick comes in. I would expect Sorensen in this time by. Wessel came off pit road with a 4-second lead over Lau. Max Gunther now about 2.5 seconds ahead of Ellis Johnson. And Sorensen's going to continue to stay out. Wessel in second, 7.9 seconds back. Wessel is closing in on Nick. Max Gunther did beat Ellis off pit road. Can Ellis run him back down? The gap now 3.7 seconds. Adam Barker did gain some ground on pit road. He's currently holding on to 6, 3.5 seconds behind Ellis, but he is gaining ground. Nick's lead currently holds at about 7.7 seconds. But again, he has not made his fuel stop yet. And Nick continuing to, no, he's not. Sorensen is on pit road. And Wessel Stevens will reclaim the lead. Wessel now has a 5.5 second lead over Lau. Max Gunther still holds third, Ellis in fourth. And Adam Barker has made his way all the way to fifth. Now Barker needs to pick up a lot more ground here this morning if he wants a shot at his 10th title next week in Mugello. Wessel continuing to extend that lead, now 5.7, 5.8 seconds. A lot of the field has spread out after pit stops. Hey, good morning, Shooting Master. Mike Marshall in the Corvette currently runs in sixth. Adam Barker in fifth. Ellis currently in fourth. Max Gunther still holds on to third. Max is pulling away from Ellis. Andrew Lau currently in second, and Wessel's lead holding about 5.7 seconds ahead. Yannick Gunther has lost a lot of ground here this morning. He's now back into ninth. About 8.5 or so seconds behind his dad. Brandon Banks took tires on his stop, turning some of the fastest laps he has turned this morning. Jason Leonard and the lone McLaren really thought that McLaren would have a lot more speed here. Meanwhile, out front, Wessel Stevens continuing to pull away. Adam Barker is starting to close in on fourth place. Ellis Johnson. Barker only about 2.5 seconds back. This late in the season, any positions Adam can pick up could make a huge difference going into the final race. Andrew Lau in second. Max Gunther has just about caught him. Max less than 9/10 of a second back and closing. Adam Barker now just 2 seconds behind Ellis. And this is exactly what Wessel wants to hear today. The battling back behind lets him get even further. Max sitting right on the bumper. In fact, in a really good place to take a ride along as they come out of turn one. Riding along with third place, Max Gunther, as they come up through the S's. Out of the S's onto the long back straight. On the brakes, into the bus stop, hitting it as hard as possible. A lot of the drivers saying this morning, if you're not popping wheelies through the bus stop, you ain't going fast enough. As they head down into the boot, you can see the different lines between the BMW and the Porsche. Porsche is known for being the better handling of the cars. However, the BMW by far the most stable. Whereas the Porsche is, we've heard from the drivers, countless times completely unstable and actively trying to kill you. Coming through the penultimate turn, heading for the final. Max can't get the setup that time. And then out of the final turn for the downhill front stretch. And back through turn one. And as we mentioned at the start, all the drivers watching very closely this morning, those track limits. Some of the drivers with very, very few, if any, off tracks. Sorensen has had a problem. He is around. There's Nick coming through turn one. Oh, the back end stepping out. Just gives the inside tire wall a little kiss. Mike Marshall was able to slip by, reclaim 6th. Nick had been on the charge, making up a lot of ground. He lost early. Wessel's lead has now grown to 8 seconds. Andrew Lau still holds on to 2nd. Max still in his bumper. Adam Barker now less than 2 seconds behind Ellis, but he isn't gaining ground as quickly. Wessel coming into lap traffic. Doesn't seem to slow him down though. Lau gained no ground. Ellis is starting to pull away from Barker again. Adam now 2.5 seconds back in 5th. But Andrew Lau just cannot shake Max Gunther. Max is yet to make an attack. But he doesn't have much time left to get it done. Adam made up a little ground. He is now 2.25 seconds back. But he's really going to have to push it to have a shot at 4th and Ellis. Andrew Lau in the BMW does have the more stable car, but he also has the straight line speed advantage. Max. Whoa! Mike Marshall has picked up a black flag. I do believe it's for incidents. Will he come in to serve it this time by? He had fought his way to 6th. Nick Sorensen, after that spin, slipped back to 7th, quite a ways behind, but Sorensen will gain ground and will reclaim the position if Mike comes in. And yes, Mike Marshall is coming in, serving the penalty. Man, that has to hurt this late in the race. Max Gunther right on Lau's bumper, but just has not found a way to make the move yet. The heavy lap traffic is about to come into play. Max finally peeks to the inside. Lap car pulls over, lets them battle. As Wessel picks up the white flag one more time around, on his way to his third sweep of the season. Lau is going to pit road. He has crashed. Wow. Let's take a look at this. There they are, coming through that final turn. Oh, he swung wide to avoid the lap car. Max had nowhere to go. See if we can get a look from the chopper at this one. Oh, the lap car had slowed down to come in. Wow, had to make that sudden move. Max could not do a thing. Wow, Andrew Lau had been in the top 3 all morning. Now sits on pit road. Max Gunther to second. Ellis still holds on to third, but Adam 1.1 seconds back. And out of the final turn, he'll do it again. Wessel Stevens sweeps the morning at Watkins Glen and extends his points lead going into the final race at Mugello next Sunday. Max Gunther holds on to take second. This is going to be close, but I think Ellis is going to have it. Yep, Ellis Johnson will pull off third. Pile up turn 1. Let's talk to our top 3. Starting with Ellis, who happens to be upside down. Ellis, you're inverted, buddy.
I'm a little stuck right now.
Man, heck of a run. You had your hands full with Adam at a couple points today.
That was really fun. I honestly don't think I deserve third. Andrew was doing really well. So a little unfortunate, but I'll take it, I guess.
Well, man, you had a heck of a run last week. Another solid performance this week, buddy. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Max Gunther coming home in second. Max, things got a little sketchy there toward the end.
Yeah, I just was looking at it. I think Stuart wanted to go into the pits, and Andrew didn't see him, or he suddenly braked in front of him and then went into the back of him. Yeah, and I then just went into the back of Andrew. That was not how I wanted to get second.
Well, no, we had seen you peaking at several points during that run, but yeah, that was just a series of unfortunate circumstances. You still managed to hold on and come home in second. A great run this morning.
Yeah, it was great. It was good racing. It was fun.
Well, you did amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you, Luke.
And finally, our winner, Wessel Stevens. Wessel, your third sweep of the season, man. You're on a tear.
Yeah, very glad with the pace today. It could have gone any better from my end. So yeah, very glad with the result.
Man, you were definitely tearing it up. There was a point there where you were in second. You just didn't push it for several laps. And then when you were ready to go, you just kind of went.
Yeah, like, of course I was a little bit more careful with the overtaking. Like, I have more on the line than the other guys. So I just wanted to go for a pass when I knew 100% sure I would made it. But I made my nose shown in almost every corner, and it helped. He made a mistake, and then I could just go past by him. So yeah, good.
Well, man, it definitely was a good morning, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, man.
Well, Wessel Stevens sweeps the morning. Folks, don't forget tonight, 9:30 Eastern, SMR, as the 87's on track. That's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for being here. Look forward to seeing you again tonight. Have a great afternoon, y'all.